welcome everybody to another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast, presented by the Believe Podcast Network and also betonline.ag. And I hope you got your bets in today and yesterday because BetOnline has a new interface updated for desktop and your mobile devices. If you sign up today, you receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your welcome bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the rest of the 2021 season, which is only a few days left because 2022 is right around the corner. Bet online where the game starts. Ladies, happy Sunday. Do you have a Christmas hangover like I do?
A little bit, yeah. We're a little slow moving today.
I think we're all a little tired.
I woke up and I was like, God, I'm still tired. I want to go back to bed, but then, kids want to play with toys. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now it's time to be an adult. So
that's what the day after Christmas is for. You got to play with all your toys now.
I know. And then I have leftover eggnog and all that stuff too. It's just put a splash of bourbon in to wake up. Hey, it's Christmas the day after. So it's all good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my sister got a makeup vanity that's huge. The whole thing, it has 13 drawers. You have to assemble. They basically just sent us wood. And we have to assemble the entire thing. Each drawer we have to build, include and put it all together. And it's all just in my living room right now. And I walked out, looked at it, and I was like, yeah, that's not my problem.
Did they get it? Did they get it from IKEA?
No, they got it. It's this website that makes really fancy makeup. It's called Slay Stations.
How to ruin your whole day by putting together furniture.
And she just looked at her boyfriend and was like, this is what we're doing. And he was like, no.
But
yeah, that's a project.
I'll break up with you for a day and then I'll come back after.
Yes. And then I will earn my way back in.
There you go. All right. We've got a lot to go into on this episode. The Christmas granted us 2 games yesterday. We also want to discuss some QBs that could possibly be on different teams next year. Black Monday is soon coming. And I know there's a few coaches that their butts are pretty fiery right now because they're going to probably get canned. And we've got some MVP candidates we should discuss because I know we haven't really thrown in a name that he's been doing quite well this year. And of course, we've got our week 16 picks. So let's start off with yesterday's game. The Cleveland Browns played the Green Bay Packers yesterday. I watched the game while opening presents, and even though Baker Mayfield was throwing picks like he was throwing out Christmas presents to the Green Bay defense, they almost won that game. But then the ref said, nope, Aaron Rodgers needs to have this on Christmas. We will not call that holding penalty. So wanted to get your thoughts on yesterday's game with the Browns and the Pack. Did they get screwed yesterday?
Brown, and this is me saying this wearing an Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey that I opened yesterday. The Browns did get screwed because they riled. We talked about it pre-show. Aaron Rodgers, that was the first time we saw him really looking injured and decrepit. Throughout every time he moved, you saw on his face, you were limping on the sidelines. That was the first time we were like, oh, this is getting worse and worse. He left to go into the locker room with 12 seconds left in the first half, probably to get his shots so his toe wouldn't kill him the second half of this game. But yeah, Browns rallied. Baker Mayfield is my least favorite part of this entire team. He's the only thing I don't like about the Browns, and threw 4 interceptions throughout this game. But at the end of the day, they were in it. And if the refs made that holding call with 47 seconds left or whatever it was, I do think the Browns come out on top here, whether it's by a touchdown or a field goal. But it was really crappy for the Browns. I was kind of happy with the outcome, but at the same time not, because you can't fully enjoy it when it wasn't a right win. But it was a good game all the way around. It was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, let me ask you going forward. Now we talked about this pre-show with Aaron. I mean, he's hurt. I mean, every time they cut to him, he was just wincing in pain. He couldn't barely move. I mean, honestly, I don't know why they didn't wheel out a wheelchair for him and just say, look, we're taking you out. Let's end this right now because you're in so much pain. We talked about they pretty much have the number 1 spot locked up, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Do you think Green Bay should just shut him down for the final 2 weeks, or are they just going to be like, you know what, if he can play, he can play. That way we can make sure we lock up the number 1 seed. What do you think Green Bay should do?
Honestly, at the state that I saw Aaron in yesterday, like it's time to sit him down. There's a very good chance that they'll have home field advantage. They'll have that first round bye. They've already locked up the division. They're gonna be in the playoffs. This man was literally like he with plus the grays in his beard, it was not a good look. Like the man looked terrible and like just physically terrible, just like that he just couldn't physically move at some points. I mean, that stupid toe of his has just been just it's like a pebble that's just like ricocheted all over the place and it's just caused nothing but terrible things for him. I'd say, especially if you get that first round bye, you sit him down for the next 2 weeks. That's 3 weeks of him resting. That's 3 weeks of him getting himself together for playoff Aaron Rodgers. And the whole point of this whole offseason debacle was to get to the Super Bowl and win. There's no way an injured Aaron Rodgers like that is going to make it through this playoffs.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
really not going to happen. So I would say, I would think, for at least maybe next week he plays, the week after, and that first round bye, he'll rest. I would sit him now, but
I'm hoping
That's all I know.
they figure it out because honestly, they need to lock up the first seed because nobody wants to see Dallas have the first seed.
oh
Nobody.
No.
my god.
So
I
let's
would rather die.
yeah. So
No
let's.
thanks.
I would think they were probably like, let's lock it up and then hopefully we can rest. If we're up by a lot, I would say if I was Green Bay and I'm going in the next 2 weeks, we'll play in the first half, see how he does. If we're up by a lot, we'll yank him. If not, maybe we can just bring him in and let him stay in and see how well he does. But I would say they got to lock it up that way because nobody wants Dallas.
No.
Because we'll never hear the end of it from stupid Dallas fans. Let's just put that out there right now. Cleveland. Baker Mayfield throwing 4 picks yesterday. This is going to be part of a segment that we'll move on to after we discuss the Cardinals game. They had their chances. There was a couple of those picks that weren't really Baker's fault.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to totally give him the 4 picks. I'll give him 2. I'll give him 2 and I'll give the other 2 to the receivers that one.
It was the first 2.
Yeah. The first 2 were
him.
Yeah. And then the second 2, one, I think Jarvis Landry slipped. And then the other one, I think it was a missed route. So I'll give him that. Cleveland going forward, they're in that division. It's a tight one. After this game, I think they're pretty much done. They're going to be bounced out. They're not in it anymore. What do you think?
With the condition that this division is in, I'm not going to officially count them out because now you have the Ravens who are probably going to have to start like their punter at quarterback. Like they have no one. So you don't know what's going to happen there. The Bengals have been super up and down over the last couple weeks. Same thing with the Steelers. And they all play each other week 18 at 1:00. Like this whole division plays each other.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's going to come down to the conclusion of those 2 games at 1:00 in week 18, where we figure out who takes this division. Like, I think it's going to be that tight.
Percentage of what do you think Cleveland can make it? Percentage.
At this point, I give them all 25%.
25%.
Okay.
I was gonna say that too.
I'll take that. That's reasonable.
I think they're all even.
Okay.
That Steelers tie is gonna be like somebody's like knife in the side. Like that tie is going to mess everything up. But the Browns right now are the only team in that division with a losing record now, which is so crazy to think about that they've all been winning throughout the year. So that's interesting.
All right, our second game, the Arizona Cardinals and the Indianapolis Colts played yesterday. Cardinals falling yet again. I'm a little sad, Jordan, because I know me and you are like big Cardinals fans, and now they just seem to be on a downward spiral of what the hell is going on. No, I know they've been riddled with injuries and COVID.
They still had enough pieces yesterday to comfortably win that game.
Yeah.
And I don't know at this point, early on in the season when there was rumors that Cliff Kingsbury was going to go coach college, I was like so offended and so hurt. I didn't want it to happen at all. Now I'm wondering if it is coaching because that's what it's looked like over the last 2 weeks. I just don't really know where the issues lie, but it looks like the Cardinals were frauds the first half of the season at this point. And I hate to say that because I've been rooting for them to have this comeback. They got knocked off the wagon a little bit, but there were a lot of teams this season that got knocked off. That kind of like the Chiefs, the Bills, like everyone had their moment. So I was giving the Cardinals their moment. And then I was hoping, but like at this point with now 2 weeks left in the season for them to be losing like this in games where you can win, it's like you can't make excuses anymore.
I mean, they're still there. I mean, you're
They're
gonna
still
win
in it. They're
You're
still in
it. But you went from the number 1
But
seed.
they don't look like a Super Bowl team anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not a good 10-5 team right
Yeah.
now. Sam, any chances that Arizona picks it up in the next 2 weeks? They're gonna need to.
I mean, do you know what their next 2 games are?
Let me look
Because
this
I
up.
feel like apart from
They're okay.
All
All right, so
Yeah.
they play the Cowboys next week
okay.
and Dallas, and then they finish up against Seattle.
All right.
At
I
home.
mean, Seattle has also been like trying to like just upset everyone recently, especially in their division. So I could see that actually being a pretty good game. Dallas, I don't even wanna
Honestly, I wouldn't be
deal with
surprised
them.
if Arizona drops both games.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised as well, which really sucks because they have been on such a high ground this entire time. But I don't know. It's real, like what Jordan said. They really looked so fantastic the beginning of this year. Like but even that Thursday night game against the Packers, like if AJ Green had just turned around, they would have won that game. They would have been undefeated still. Like maybe that was the turning point in their season. Maybe their first loss was the turning point. Like who knows? But the Cardinals really haven't been impressing me lately. James Conner wasn't playing yesterday. D-Hop wasn't playing, but like they really could have. They could have won.
It all stems from when JJ Watt got hurt, and then it just seems to be
Literally.
spiraling out of control. The Colts who are a lot of people's Super Bowl picks early on in the offseason, have now just been on a tear, playing great football.
Beating great teams.
Great teams, yes, exactly right. I like the Colts a lot. They're suddenly now kind of like a dark horse team going into the playoffs. I really like the football they're playing. Be afraid of Indianapolis going forward. Be afraid. Be very afraid. All right, so we mentioned a couple quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson, briefly. Quarterbacks that could be on the move to different teams. Let's start with Russell Wilson first. Obviously, there could be a divorce coming up. They're just Seattle. It does not look like Seattle. I know we all know he was out for a few weeks with the injuries, but ever since he got back, it's just been terrible, terrible football. Chances Russell Wilson stays in Seattle, or does he move on?
I think we are getting a breakup of some sort next season. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson will not be together. It just depends on which one is going to stay in Seattle.
Okay.
I think either Pete Carroll is going to get fired and they'll bring in someone new, and maybe Russell Wilson stays under that circumstance. And I don't think Russell Wilson has bad blood with Pete Carroll. It's just time. Like, It's just not working anymore.
Where do you think he goes?
I could see him in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've had a lot of talk of Aaron Rodgers to Denver, but if Aaron Rodgers is to go, I honestly see Aaron Rodgers more in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson goes to Denver.
Okay. Sam, what do you think?
Well, I won't say the Giants. I won't say it. I'm not going to say it. I know people
They said they're not moving on from Danny Dimes or Joe Judge.
DJ's sticking around, which is fine. Whatever. At this point, I don't even care. But he's not going to. Like the fact that people were saying that, and then Russell Wilson straight up came out and was just like, "I didn't say that." It's just like he's not going there. There's no way. The thing is that like there's so many teams in like the current like coming into these weeks that are starting to like fall apart. Like the Saints have no quarterback identity whatsoever. It's really falling apart. Ian Book, come on. Ian Book starting on Monday Night Football. All right. Like there's so many places where
I don't want him to go to New Orleans. No, because then he's in my division. No.
I know, but
away.
Could you imagine a Russell Wilson Tom Brady matchup twice a year?
That would be nice.
Could be very good TV.
It'd be fun.
But I would agree with Jordan though. The fact that he could end up in Denver, that could be a play. Like, because again, no sort of quarterback identity there. Sorry, Teddy, I love you, but it's not.
That's really all they're lacking. Like we saw them. Like they have pieces. They just need a quarterback to put everything together. And I think Russell Wilson can come in there and do that.
Okay. Baker Mayfield. Is his
Out.
time up in Cleveland?
The Cleveland Browns will not move on from Baker. Sam, you can go, and then I'll go because I'm gonna roast him.
All I want to say is when I saw the report about like them being in the mix for Deshaun Watson, I was like, "What?
Wait. What?
You didn't see that?
No.
I read an article that said that they were like apparently in the mix to be looking at Deshaun Watson. I don't know how serious that is or not, but I really don't think they will move on. I don't think they need to. I know people will say like that they need to, and Jordan will probably go on the opposite side of this. She is going on the opposite side of this point.
Yeah, please. I want to hear this roast, please.
Okay, so here's the thing. We know that the Cleveland Browns have had 500 cajillion million quarterbacks over the last handful of years. They have circled through everyone. They had Johnny Manziel thinking Johnny Manziel was the future. That was a complete bust. They have shuffled every single person in and around to try and find a long-term quarterback solution. They find Baker, who has this incredible rookie season. Incredible. Like, as someone who doesn't like him, incredible rookie season. Like, you can't deny that. Then it's been like a slow, like, downward average kind of ever since. But they are so like hung up. Cleveland is so hung up on the fact that they have someone that's slightly better than average that they won't let go of him. And they are so obsessed with Baker because it's better than what they've had over the last couple of years. And they see this glimmer of hope, and they're not ready to accept that they would have to go through another quarterback debacle to find someone else, because Baker, at the end of the day, at least in Cleveland, maybe in another system, it would work better, but Baker's average. You have this all-star team, offense and defense, and you cannot comfortably get them to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. Get out. That's my roast. Thank you.
Not bad.
Thank
you. Not bad. Okay. All right. So if he's out of Cleveland, best fit for Baker.
We'll take him. I'll take him in New York. That's fine. Send Baker to New York. I'm making a petition.
Because I mean, if we see all these quarterbacks that are going to be moving teams next year, I mean, you're going to see, starting quarterbacks from all these X teams going to a different team. I mean, you could see Baker going to New Orleans. You could see Baker maybe going to Seattle or Denver. I mean, there's so many places where they can go. I mean, hell, you could maybe see Baker Mayfield down in Houston for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So, all right. So next quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh.
This is kind of like a 50-50 because he's been playing well the past few weeks. A lot of people saying he's playing for like a new job for 2022, but then they're saying we'll keep him because Trey Lance isn't really ready yet. Do you think Jimmy G is on his way out? Because I know this is the last year of his contract, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So he's free agency next year. Where are we going with Jimmy G?
I mean, Jimmy didn't look too hot on Thursday. Really didn't seem like it was fitting for me, right? The 49ers played on Thursday.
Yes,
they did.
Yes, okay. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
No.
He's been serviceable where they're getting wins because now San Fran is like in the heart of the playoff race.
Yeah.
So he's been the quarterback they need him to be right now. They don't need him to be a star. They don't need him to be flashy. They don't need to be, crazy making, crazy plays, but he's getting wins. He's making them like get points. They're putting up points. So obviously he's kind of sitting in right now. He doesn't have to play like 100% all the way, but he is playing decent.
He's playing good.
Yeah.
I feel like that team like really rallies around him though. Like they want him to stay and they want him to be like this all-star quarterback because they did go to the Super Bowl. Right. They did bring them to the Super Bowl at some point. So I think like Kittle, like, they, how much they love each other. Like, I don't think he wants to see him go, but I also feel like, Jimmy G doesn't, I don't know. He doesn't have like, I don't know if it's to the extent that Jordan feels about Baker. I don't hate Jimmy G, but just like the fact that yes, he is getting things done and getting them to the Super Bowl, but also like, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl this year. Not in my brain.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's really going to go anywhere. Like, you're going to have this same great season over and over again. You're going to go to the playoffs, but then you're not going to go to the Super Bowl. It's
Yeah.
unless some other things get changed, like maybe they get more defensive guys like to add on to Bosa, like maybe they make this all-star team, maybe Shanahan steps it up a little bit, but I don't see them making it
No,
not
this
really.
is a super tricky situation because when you take Jimmy G out of San Fran, I don't think Jimmy G's a great quarterback, but he works in the San Francisco system, which is why I was so confused when they were so gung-ho on getting someone else last year because,
Right.
like Sam said, Jimmy brought them to the Super Bowl. They started losing when Jimmy was hurt up and down. You didn't know when he was going to play. You had this backup quarterback. Like, that's when they really started crumbling. I do understand the argument that he can't fully stay healthy. So that's kind of why you want someone behind him. So that I can completely understand. But like, when you have a healthy Jimmy G in the system, it works. But then going off of what Sam was saying as well, it doesn't feel like a Super Bowl team to me. So I don't know if it's the best decision for them to completely move on and start from scratch and get this young rookie quarterback that's not fully ready yet in there. Or if you keep Trey Lance as your backup, have him keep learning and watching, have Jimmy G still your guy, and then continue to build around. I mean, they made it work. They have this solid run game, even with injured running backs up and down the board. So like, they're so close, but I don't know. It's weird. It's a tough situation to gauge because, like I said, Jimmy G, to me, you move him from San Francisco, he's a backup quarterback.
Right. Yeah, it is a tough one because I agree with both of what you said because he does fit perfectly 100% in Shanahan's system.
Yeah.
Like, he's perfect for that team. And if you put him somewhere else, he's just going to be a mediocre backup. Because I don't think you couldn't put him in Seattle's system. You couldn't do that. You couldn't put him in. I think that maybe the best spot for him would be in New Orleans because Sean Payton knows how to work with quarterbacks, and he would maybe be perfect for that job. Right now, they're in a free fall. They've got no quarterback right now. So if they're looking for somebody that's going to be remotely decent enough,
I think it would be smart for them to sign him to a 1-year deal, just see if it works or not.
I would say for him, the best going forward for San Fran would to retain Jimmy G, offer maybe a 2-year extension, and then see what happens after that. Trey Lance is not ready yet. He's not ready. And going back to the draft, when they drafted him so high, it was like, well, injuries aside, you still could have gotten playmakers instead of getting a quarterback that high because they put Trey Lance in maybe a couple times early this season, and we haven't seen him since. So you pretty much.
Can you imagine if you had Kyle Pitts and George Kittle on one team?
Oh, that'd be disgusting.
And you know how well Jimmy G works with Kittle. Imagine if you had two weapons like that on this offense. Like, they could have gone that direction instead. A lot of people talked about it.
Or they could have gone and got Najee Harris.
Yeah.
They could have gotten Najee Harris instead of, because of all the running backs they've gone through, they could have gotten a healthy bell cow of a running back in Najee Harris. Or they could have gone on the defensive side too.
Yeah.
There were so many options. But hey, we're not GMs. We're not getting paid the bucks to make stupid mistakes. So, and speaking of stupid mistakes, coaches walking the plank. Black Monday is coming up in the next couple of weeks, and there are a few coaches, that probably won't be in the head coaching job much too longer. So we're going to do lightning round real quick of coaches that are on the hot seat. They'll probably be fired. And to go first, let's go Matt Nagy of the Chicago Bears. Fired or staying? Okay, so that's
fired.
Fired. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer of the Minnesota Vikings.
Could be out of here.
I think he's out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. We mentioned his name before, Joe Judge.
Well,
he's going to stay
today that he's staying.
For now.
For now.
Vic Fangio of the Denver Broncos.
Stay.
Okay. And
do you think he's getting fired?
I just, unless they can, I don't know, figure something out. I don't know. I don't. They've been playing well, but I don't know.
I see what you're saying. I just think they have it. Once they, we talked about it earlier, once they get a quarterback in there, I think this team works, and I kind of like what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel like they're one quarterback away, and Teddy was right there. Teddy was right there for them, but it wasn't the perfect fit.
Yeah.
And again, not terrible, but
not great.
I don't know.
I get it.
This last one is, I don't think he deserves to be fired because of the situation he's in. David Culley from Houston.
Yeah. I don't think it's his fault. I don't think it's his fault.
It's not. He was thrown into a situation where it's just like, well, we need a coach. You don't have really any kind of quarterback at all, or offense or defense. Sorry. This is what you have to work with.
Team.
Yeah, you have nothing. Yeah. He might.
You have a bunch of free agents that were thrown together to have enough men on your roster to participate throughout the 2021 season. And that was the Houston Texans.
Yep.
I feel bad for David Culley.
I do too. And I feel bad for Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I do too.
Poor Tyrod.
All right, before we get into our picks, the MVP race is heating up. We've got a few names I want to discuss. There's one name we haven't really thrown in there, I don't think a lot. First name is Cooper Kupp.
I'm
He's
on board.
Been putting up a monster of a season so far. LA's going to the playoffs. Out of Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp. Thoughts on who would be the better pick? And Aaron Rodgers.
So, yeah, my thing is, if you have to give it to, because they've kind of made it a quarterback award. Right. If you're going to give it to a quarterback, it goes to Aaron Rodgers. Personally, I don't want it to go, as much as I love him. I'm literally wearing him. I don't want it to go to a quarterback this season because he's played great, but it's not like anything that we've never seen before. Like, he's just having a really good season. Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp are out here absolutely dominating, breaking records, playing above every single other MVP level play in these two positions. What's I'm struggling with is, personally, I think Jonathan Taylor deserves it. But at the end of the day, Derrick Henry didn't get it last season. So how can you give it to a running back this season if he didn't get it? So that's kind of like where my mind is. So I guess in that aspect, I would give it to Cooper Kupp. But it's weird because out of everyone, I think Jonathan Taylor deserves it the best. But like Derrick Henry 2000, he didn't get a single vote. So it's weird. It's like a weird situation to be in.
Some super trivia right now. No wide receiver has ever won the MVP in the NFL.
Really?
What?
That's crazy.
No running back, no wide receiver. Wide receiver.
Cooper Kupp has had a near perfect season. So if anyone's going to be the first to do it, it's him.
The other argument that could be made is that if Derrick Henry never got hurt, would we be talking about Jonathan Taylor?
Exactly.
I mean, maybe we would be, people would be talking about him in terms of how great he is on the Colts, but would we be talking about him in an MVP caliber? With Cooper Kupp as well, like Cooper Kupp, I think has always been good. I think him and Matt Stafford together make him even better. I feel like Cooper Kupp has always been an under the radar wide receiver. Like
definitely
even
agree.
With Goff there, like Coop was the reason why they were winning a lot of their games, and we're noticing that now with Jared Goff not in LA and Detroit. Matt Stafford obviously coming in made a huge difference, and their relationship is great. But like Cooper Kupp is winning games for the Rams, and to be fair, Jonathan Taylor is winning the
Colts. Yeah,
like Carson Wentz. Not winning the games for the Colts. It's all Jonathan Taylor. So it's so. But again, my thought process is again bringing in Derrick Henry. Would we be having this conversation about Jonathan Taylor?
Right. Okay. So season ended today. I want to take Aaron Rodgers out of the equation. Okay. The season ended today. Out of Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp, who gets your MVP vote?
I'm gonna give it to Coop. I'll give it to Coop. I think that he really is making a tremendous effort in this team, because also if you take Coop off of the Rams, I don't think Matt Stafford has the season that he's having. If you take Carson Wentz off of the Colts, like Cooper Kupp is making that team better, and he's making the players around him better. So that, and Jonathan Taylor, amazing talent. I don't want to take anything away from him, but Jonathan Taylor on another team is doing Jonathan Taylor's things still. So Cooper Kupp is making everyone around him better too.
Some valid points there.
It's very valid points.
I remember also in like the offseason too, when LA got Matt Stafford in that trade, like fantasy, we were like the elevation of the value of Cooper Kupp and even Robert Woods when Robert Woods was healthy and playing through the roof, because now you have a better quarterback that's, who's got a better arm, can call plays better than your predecessor. and you can open up the playbook on the offense because now you've got a quarterback that can actually, play better. And Cooper Kupp's value's just been through the roof ever since draft season. It's insane. And I couldn't imagine his season going like this because obviously, ever since he got in the league, he's been, and Sam, you had a great point. He's been under the radar, very underrated wide receiver. I think when each and every year, I mean, there's not a lot of discussion about him, but now since his season has gone the way it is, I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. And plus, you haven't had a wide receiver ever before, win it. So why not?
I know before this show, I would have said Jonathan Taylor, but I'm very on the Cooper Kupp.
We should remember also the interview that he had where he literally just vomited
football. Yeah.
And it was like the most amazing thing. And I know for some people it's like, what? Yeah, I know for some people that's like, well, that's his job. That's what he's supposed to know. But like hearing it come out of his mouth so flawlessly, and he was just like, I was just doing what I needed to do with his big old country beard he's got going on. I don't know.
He's a McVay disciple because McVay can just shout out plays that happened 20 years ago when he was like 12. He's a McVay disciple. So, all right. So we got 2 votes for.
He could be McVay's son.
Probably.
If you put them next to each other.
I'll hop on that conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
All right. So Jordan, you're going with Cooper Kupp?
I'll go Cooper Kupp. We'll clean sweep Cooper Kupp for MVP.
Okay. Coop. All right. Let's see if it happens. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Hashtag Coop for MVP. MVP Coop. Yeah. Here we go.
Hashtag justice for wide receivers for MVP.
All right, let's go into week 16. Our first matchup is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers. Bucks dealing with a ton of injuries on the offensive side and defensive side too. They go and play the Panthers. Matt Rule is being also one of those coaches considered probably getting fired as well. What do we see out of this matchup today? It's an interesting one because the Bucs are really going to be having a makeshift wide receiving core. Gronk's probably going to get a ton of looks. Ronald Jones is going to be the starting running back for the Bucs. They had a great game against Carolina last year with that 99-yard run against the Panthers. What do we see in this game? Can the Bucs turn it around and clinch the division, or is Carolina just going to play spoiler?
No, I think it's going to be very, very close game. I don't think the Bucs are going to come in and dominate, but there's no way Tom Brady is losing again after what we saw last week in prime time. And even with the Bucs as injured as they are, they still have enough pieces to make it happen. And Carolina, I just don't think is there. So I'm going to say Bucs, but it's going to be very close.
Yeah, I'd agree because again, it's Tom Brady and he works with what he's got and he can make, anybody really look good. So, and after a shutout, I'm afraid of Brady after a loss, just in general. After a shutout,
I mean, you're chucking Microsoft services on the side.
Yeah, I would argue that the Carolina
with the screen literally off.
Yes.
And also, I know that Carolina is now dealing not only with Matt Rule, but I mean, I know Sam Darnold's getting back into the mix. Cam Newton might be getting benched. And Cam's going to be like, wow, baby. He's going to be all pissed off. So I'm sure that's adding some sort of tumultuous energy within the Carolina Panthers.
Good vocab.
Do you two see Carolina blowing it up at the end of the season? Because, they started off 3-0, but that 3-0 was against really shitty teams.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the season, could Matt Rule be? I mean, I think they need to do a total teardown. Matt Rule needs to.
Agreed.
I don't think so.
Well, the quarterback situation there is horrendous.
The quarterback situation, blow it up. I don't think it wasn't Matt Rule's decision to go out and get Sam Darnold. So I don't think you can necessarily blame.
No,
him.
I think it was.
It was his decision.
Yeah, it was his decision to go out and
he
get
needs
Sam
to
Darnold.
go. Yeah. Then I was trying to defend him. You can't.
No, it was because I remember that was the big thing was Rule and him had a prior relationship, and he was like, "Yeah, let me go get my boy," and then and that's why they paid him a bunch of money. Yeah.
Okay, so Matt Rule, you're done. If you made a call, it's bad.
If I was Carolina at the end of the season, I would blow it all up, try and make some kind of package deal, go get Deshaun Watson, and go get a better coach. Get rid of Christian McCaffrey too. Package him in a deal, go get Deshaun, and then do what you got to do.
It sucks about McCaffrey.
Yeah,
it really does. But the kid has been through so many injuries. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen him go off the way that he should be every year.
It's bad.
That's bad. All right. Detroit and the Atlanta Falcons. Detroit has been playing relatively good, decent football the past couple of weeks, being the Arizona Cardinals last week, and a stunner last week. Who do we got in this game? I'm firing up Matt Ryan because they're playing Detroit. I need him to play big today because I'm in semifinals for my fantasy football league. Can Detroit play a spoiler again and beat Atlanta?
I'm sorry to say this because I just told you to take Matt Ryan. I'm 100% taking the Lions today.
Why would you do that to me?
I didn't realize I was going to do it. I mean, I knew I was going to take the Lions, but then I told you. But all right, in my defense, I did tell you Lions have been playing good football, but their opponents have also been putting up points as well. So Matt Ryan can have a great day and still lose.
All right. I'll take that.
All right. But yeah, so that's what's going to happen.
Okay,
Lions are literally winning now.
Oh, no. Oh.
Like, honestly, same.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the second it popped up, I was just like, ooh, we just told Evan to take Matt Ryan in his
Well, see, it's a good thing that fantasy doesn't go by wins. They just go by stats.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's very fair. I think Matty Ice can have a day.
Yeah.
I feel like Detroit is on a roll and they're riding a high, and like, why not?
Yes,
why not
they didn't
beat the Atlanta Falcons, you know?
Yes, they didn't beat the Cardinals. They smashed them into the freaking ground.
Yep.
So the Falcons are a much easier team to beat than the Cardinals, who have been Super Bowl bound and leading the NFC for a majority of this season. So,
and at this point too, the Detroit Lions, they're just having fun. They're not going to the playoffs. They're not like, they are just having an excellent
Dan Campbell
time.
for Coach of the Year.
Seriously. And like that guy too, you know, like Dan Campbell too, you're like, why not? He's not going to get fired. He obviously is doing his best with this team, and they're doing what they need to do. They're going to have fun. They're going to have a good time. And with that kind of energy, you realize you stop making silly mistakes and you start playing good football.
You know what? I'll take Detroit too. Why not?
Yes.
Clean sweep Detroit.
Matty Ice can have a good day, but Detroit is going to win. I like that.
Yes.
All right. Our next matchup is a very tasty one. It's a divisional game. Baltimore is playing the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot is riding on this game. Yeah. Who do we got? Baltimore versus the Bengals. Baltimore is going to be not starting Lamar, not starting Tyler Huntley. We've got... Who is their quarterback today? The janitor?
Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson
from the Jets.
From the Buccaneers, too. An ex-Buccaneer.
There you go.
Who do we got? Baltimore or Cincinnati this week?
I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Josh Johnson will be not terrible. I mean, we saw him come in that Jets game. What was that, a Thursday night game when Mike White went down and everybody just like was like in shambles?
He did do very well.
And he did fairly well, but new team, new everything, going up against a division team. I'll take the Bengals.
All right. LA is going to be playing Minnesota today. The Rams are coasting. Minnesota is just... That's all.
Minnesota is the peskiest little team ever. I have needed them to lose one stupid game for like 3 weeks in a row. And what do? They just keep winning. Kirk Cousins breaks his own record. Never has won 2 primetime games back to back. What happens when the Eagles need him to lose? He wins 2 primetime games back to back. Minnesota is 1 game ahead of the Eagles in the NFC playoff race, and they hold the tiebreaker because of their record versus similar opponents. So the Rams need to kick the Vikings in the face today and give the Eagles a chance to make it to the playoffs and then lose in the first round.
Yay.
Yay.
I like that scenario.
Thank you.
Another great tasty matchup. Buffalo and New England play today. A rematch of the game a couple weeks ago. Who do we got? The Bills and Patriots.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills because of the fact that this is a completely different game than last time. Granted, they did play in Buffalo last time, but it was very obvious with the snow, with the wind, with the just atrocious run game. The Bills were not in it. They know now that this is the type of game that New England's going to play today is going to be the game they've been playing all year. Mac Jones is going to be throwing the ball. It's going to be very, very different. Yes, they'll be in New England, but I just feel like the Buffalo Bills, they can't lose this game. That's also it. Like, they absolutely have to win this game. in order to stay relevant in the playoff picture. So Josh Allen's going to rally the troops. Josh Allen's he's going to run. He's going to throw. He's going to kick the ball. He's going to punt the ball. He's going to do everything. He's going to make sure.
Josh Allen had 3 field goals today.
Josh
Exactly.
Allen will give away hot dogs and beer in the stands as well.
Yes.
Exactly. So I have a feeling that he's really going to like put all the chips in. He's going to do everything he needs to do. He's going to make sure his team is there and not just leaving him out to dry. And I think they're going to win this game.
Both teams are riddled with injuries and also COVID players on the COVID list. The Patriots do have a chance to lock up the AFC East today with a win against the Bills. I'm going with Patriots today over the Bills.
Oh, I don't know what to do. The first time they played each other, I was like convinced Patriots. I'm going to go Bills today.
Okay.
I think the Bills have it. The Patriots haven't looked quite like the Patriots. Bills are going to be able to get the upper hand in this one and make things a little more exciting for the last couple weeks of the season.
All right, this game that says it all.
Yeah.
The Jags and the Jets. That says it all.
Disgusting.
This is the game for the top spot. Who gets the number 1 pick? There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying Jets win today.
Yeah, I was going to say Jets.
Do either of these teams want to win? Or are they going to like just
it's going to be one of those games where like they're going to be trying to lose.
Yes.
And then like points are going to go up and they're going to be like, no.
It seems like the Jets want to win more than the Jags do right now.
No, the Jets seem like they won.
Yeah.
I think that's Saleh, like getting in their heads, like we are not losers.
He's not coaching.
Oh yeah,
He's on COVID too, yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a
yeah.
mess.
You know what? It's probably going to be a high-scoring game too.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, this one. I'm going to let you two discuss this one because it's against you guys are going.
Oh my god! Why did I forget this was happening?
So I'm
Sam,
I'm gonna dip out for a second.
Okay.
And you guys have at it.
Square up, Sam.
Square up.
Ding ding.
You guys are gonna win. There's no way.
That's it.
You.
That's it. That's all I get.
I oh my god, my faith in the Giants has slowly just been like.
Is Jake from State Farm?
Jake from State Farm is playing, yes, and Kadarius Toney just came off the COVID list.
I mean, we don't have our head coach, but at the end of the day,
this is gonna. We're talking crap about Jacksonville and New York. This is gonna be just a crapshoot, isn't it?
I mean, Eagles are 10-point favorites, which I always feel like is a trap in an Eagles game. I do think the Eagles are going to win, but I feel like it's going to end up being like Washington, where it's not totally comfortable that we win the whole time. Like we'll waver for a minute and then get back on track kind of thing, because nothing can ever be easy. But we should win. We can't let
such confidence in that. There.
It's really just like I feel like wavering about them losing, and Jordan feels wavering about them winning. So therefore, it's going to be a tie.
Well, also too, because the first time the Eagles played the Giants this season, I was like, oh my god, we just demolished the Saints. We're 100% beating the Giants. What are you talking about? And then Giants came in and we're like,
to be fair, the Giants
don't want to get too confident.
To be fair, the Giants had also beaten the Saints in overtime this year.
Is true.
So
this is true.
The Saints really aren't that much of a competitor.
The Saints are victims to the NFC East this season.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like, I mean, we are just decrepit in terms of injuries, COVID, everything that's going on. Jake Fromm, I wish you all the best, buddy. I want you to thrive. I want you to
What are you wearing?
She sounds hideous.
But like the thing was that like we had to win the game in MetLife, right? Like that was the only, like we were not expecting to win in Link. Like we were going to go into Link expecting loss, so we had to win in MetLife, and we did. And we did what we had to do at home. Going into Philadelphia, that's a scary place to play football. It's very terrifying, and I just. With all the injuries and everything, plus being away from home, taking that bus ride down.
Yeah, I watched Saints fans leave the game in the third quarter because Philly fans were just.
Hey, you guys are terrible people. That's why.
We're terrible. We're so bad to be here. We're lovely to each other. Like I made so many friends that day. But if you are not wearing Eagles in the link, It's scary. It's really bad.
You want to know what's really funny too? Jordan and I, like earlier this year, we were like, we're gonna go to the Eagles game when they play the Chargers and dress in Chargers gear. And
Yeah.
I
Would you
remember,
why would you do that?
and in
Why?
my brain, I was like, we're gonna die.
Yeah. And that's
were
when I
gonna
thought the
do
Eagles
that.
were going to be so terrible. And then the Eagles start. I mean, we're not good by any stretch of the imagination, but we've had our moments. Like, it has not been half as bad as I thought it was going to be. So then I was like, I can't do it. Like, I literally can't do it.
Yeah.
All right, our next few matchups aren't really that attractive. We got the Chargers against the Texans.
Justin.
Yes, all right, we can move on. The Bears versus the Seahawks.
Let's go Seahawks.
Yeah.
If Matt Nagy wins this game, do you think he keeps his job?
No.
No. You need
They
a
did
bet.
that last year.
Yeah, you
They
need
literally slipped into the playoffs last year, and they were like, "Oh,
You can
need-
stay.
he needs a quality win, and against the Seahawks right now, no, that's not a quality
plus
win.
I need the Bears to be bad so that the Giants get a better draft pick."
Okay, this
Okay.
might. Okay, I like this one. It's the Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This is
This is
actually
gonna
one
be
of the.
good.
This is going to be a good matchup
Yeah.
today.
Travis
Pittsburgh-
Kelce's out.
Kelsey is out today. Kansas City has now really gotten into that conversation with everybody. Now they're the Super Bowl contenders. They have really caught fire the past few weeks. They're looking like Kansas City of old. Who do we got? Pittsburgh and Kansas City.
I feel like with the way Kansas City has been heating up and getting all this hype, this is the perfect time for the Steelers to play spoiler. And that's what the Steelers do best. Like, the Steelers are average, and then they just kind of like step up in like these random moments. And I feel like this is one of those moments where the Steelers could come out on top.
It's tough going into Arrowhead, though.
It is.
Really
Yes,
tough
very
going
tough.
into Arrowhead to play. I want to pick the Steelers. I want to. I just they're pretty decrepit right now too.
They've got
they're
a
falling
lot
apart.
on the COVID and injury list. Devin Bush and Marcus Allen are both on the
Oh, that's
COVID
big.
list, and they were going to be losing 2 of their offensive tackles too.
Yeah.
Actually, 3 of their offensive tackles today.
Ooh, I think I changed my pick. No, I'll
Ooh.
stick with it. Steelers to upset.
We can argue Kelsey's not playing, right? So like that's one of the biggest targets. I know Tyreek Hill will
Yeah.
still be there, but like he's a main target for Patrick. So you know what? Screw it. I'll go with you, Jordan. I'll go with Pittsburgh here.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not upset the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah.
I'll go with KC. I'll go with KC.
Okay.
I'll go
That's
too.
fair. Safe.
These two are really.
I mean,
Let's
it's a
go
division game.
Broncos.
It's a division game.
Yeah, well,
It could get
Broncos
interesting.
are kind of still in it.
Yeah, let's go Broncos.
Let's go
Let's go
Broncos.
Drew Lock. Let's hype up Drew Lock, right? He's playing. Teddy's not
Yeah.
playing.
You know
is
what?
he?
Let's win this one for Teddy.
Let's win this one for
let's go for
Teddy. Let's
Teddy.
go.
Let's win this one for
It's like
Teddy.
the outsiders.
Yes.
Do it for Johnny.
Sweep the leg. No. And our last matchup is a divisional matchup with the Washington football team against the Dallas Cowboys.
Washington.
I have to take the Cowboys.
No, you don't.
I do.
You
For the
have
Eagles
to.
to make the playoffs, I have
Oh,
to.
well, I'm sorry.
Go Cowboys.
Let's go Washington.
Yeah, let's go. I'm on the Washington train. I think Heineke's back today. He's gonna be
Yeah.
starting,
Oh,
so-
and he looked fly. He was wearing this emerald green Christmas suit walking on that. He looked fire walking on the plane.
Good
like
for him.
smooth as can be.
Did he have
He's like,
Christmas
"Yeah, I'm
lights? Christmas lights or anything like that?
No,
too?
it was just like a solid green, like Sam, the fashion expert. You would have loved this suit with the
Was it
sneakers and his
velour?
beanie.
Was it like a velour, like a
don't-
velvet?
I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
look
don't
it
know.
up.
I don't know what a velour is, but hey,
Me
sure.
either.
It's like that.
I know
soft,
it's in a Jack Harlow song, and that's all
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
Like
I
it's
make
a
them
soft
press it like
fabric
velour.
That's like very warm looking. you
I have
know?
no idea who Jack Harlow is, so
What?
I have no idea who he is. Sorry,
It's like, oh,
I
he's
don't.
like,
I don't listen.
he's a
to his music.
rapper.
I know he's. I think I've heard of him. I don't know like any of his songs.
okay, you've
me
never heard
clarify that.
What's Poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in.
Never heard of it. No.
Okay, all right.
So if
Jordan,
you
you
have-
have to send it to me. I can't find it.
Okay, I'll
so
type
you know,
it.
I should maybe think maybe I should like hear these songs because if somebody like requests them on a DJ gig, I'd like, oh yeah, that Jack Harlow song, sure. I'll play that.
Yes,
Yeah. Like who-
Jordan
who?
loves Jack Harlow.
I love Jack Harlow.
Yeah, he must be a nice guy.
He's the best.
He's a Mets fan.
Sam, I just sent you Taylor Heineke's.
All right, let's take a look.
Oh, there's like Christmas on the inside. It's a great suit.
Oh, oh, that's really nice. Okay, it's
really
not
nice.
velour. That's not
It's
velour.
not velour. Okay.
No, but it is Christmassy on the inside. It's a beautiful color green. The beanie really lightens it up a little bit, makes him look a little younger.
He had like a gold
He's
chain.
around.
He is young.
How old is he?
He's like
He's
25, 26.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah. He's a baby.
Ain't no way me and this man are the same age.
When he had to request out of class to play in the play. He had like a final or something.
Actually,
when they needed...
he's older than what you said he is.
Oh, really? How old
28.
is he?
He's 28.
Yes.
Oh.
I can spot these things.
He must have went back to school because I know last year for the playoffs, he had to tell his professor, like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I have to play Tom Brady in the NFL playoffs.
I mean, fair. I think that's
I remember
Very
that
fair.
story. That's right. I remember that story. Yeah, because it was the Alex Smith was out with an injury, and then they had to bring somebody in because they had nobody else.
Yeah. I
And
think he
they're
was
like,
on their practice squad or something.
I think they just got him from the street, and they were just like, okay, you're going to be starting against Tom Brady. And he's like, okay, cool.
And he almost beat him.
And he almost beat him. And he has beat him.
He has beat him.
Beat him this season.
Taylor Heinicke and Nick Foles are Tom Brady's Achilles heel. And Eli.
Nick Foles will be starting today for the Bears as well.
I am so happy.
It's a Nick Foles.
I don't care if they get blown out. I just want to see him.
No.
I love him.
No.
My angel.
All right. And on that note, we are out. Hope everybody had a great Christmas weekend. Ladies, any final thoughts for week 16 before we head on out?
Sam, you're going down.
Okay. I'll take it. I'm so exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Pray for me and Matty Ice to have a great day in fantasy. I'm hoping.
Yes.
Let's go, Matty Ice.
I need to move into the finals and get my championship. So, all right, for us here at the Fantasy Underdogs podcast, we will see you Tuesday night for our recap show presented by Believe Podcast Network and also betonline.ag. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday football and your family. We will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.